Good morning, how are you? Oh, just realised I've got toothpaste on my jumper. Anyway, I'll edit that out because I'm great at that sort of stuff. I just want to talk to you about one or two things that could be impeding or hindering you reaching your health goals. When we strip it back, there are two modes of operating. There's two sort of energy systems, if you like. There's the parasympathetic, they've got some odd names, parasympathetic and sympathetic. So the parasympathetic is the down regulation of our operating system. It's the rest and restore, it's what happens, or it's the mode that we're in during sleep. The sympathetic is the upregulation, it's the go, it's the active, it's the everything's primed for being alert. And we segue from one to the other. The most defining segue is that division between being awake and being asleep. Now, when we get impaired sleep, acutely or chronically, and a lot of us do, then we get an imbalance of these operating modes. We get an imbalance of too much sympathetic and not enough parasympathetic. And what that does, that puts us in this agitated state, and that flares up our immunity. We get this immune response, which, all things being equal, is a good thing. It's a primal, descends from our primal history, in the sense that when we're in this sympathetic operating mode, we are ready, we're alert, we have an immune response based on any threat to us, any predation. But given that there is no predation, and given that we're in this chronically due to poor sleep, it evokes this suboptimal immune response and leads to systemic inflammation, which is the cornerstone for ill health and disease. Layer on top of that things that compound this being in this mode of operating. Coffee, exhaustive workouts, stress, traffic, all that stuff that is very sort of apparent in our modern day life. You can quickly see how we get this imbalance. So one of the things that could be impeding is this systemic inflammation. So we need to, as best we can, mitigate, reduce, minimize inflammation from our lifestyle, which includes looking at things like sleep to ensure that we have enough and enough good quality sleep to redress that balance of sympathetic and parasympathetic. We need to look at all silos or facets or aspects of our life and look to see how we can mitigate, minimize, reduce inflammation. So look at your diet. Are there foods in that diet that are causing inflammation? Look at your exercise. Is the dosage right? Is the prescription right? Am I, doing too much, too often? And if so, it's actually probably having a negative effect. It's throwing more fuel on the fire, so to speak, and increasing your inflammation. So there's lots of things we can do to minimize, reduce inflammation, but I just wanted to share that with you, that because we can become quite mono-focused on what is going to drive our health, i.e. exercise, sometimes the things that we're not thinking about, i.e. sleep, it could be such a simple thing as getting 7 or 8 hours rather than 6. And that's enough to redress this balance of parasympathetic versus sympathetic and get it out of this immune response, this agitation, this systemic inflammation. That's it for today, guys. Hope that's been helpful.